Hello, this is Cynthia Sue Larson of RealityShifters.com, and I'm here with you today to talk about communicating with our past and future selves. And this is a topic which I presented a keynote talk at the Language of Spirit conference hosted by the Seed Graduate Institute in Albuquerque, New Mexico this year. This was the 12th annual such gathering. Here's a flyer showing their logo. And at this conference, which was hosted by Seed, which is the president is Sean Secatero, who organized this year's conference. I was also fortunate enough to be part of the dialogues, which were moderated by Leroy Littlebear, who was one of the first people involved with the original dialogue back when David Bohm started it with some linguists and indigenous elders and scholars. So to share with you the concept behind this conference, or at least what David Bohm had in mind with the idea of dialogue, sort of a Bohmian dialogue concept, where it's possible to learn a great deal without being burdened by some of the blinders that we frequently find ourselves in, thanks to our culture, our language, how we were raised, the way we've learned to think, to be able to open that up and get a deeper view, a deeper conversation, a deeper dialogue going within ourselves and with everything and everyone around us. Here's the quote from David Bohm. "Suppose we were able to share meanings freely without a compulsive urge to impose our view or conform to those of others, and without distortion and self-deception. Would this not constitute a real revolution in culture?" And that's a very profound concept, very deep, and that is at the heart of what's going on at these annual Language of Spirit dialogues that happen each year. And my talk this year was about communicating with our past and future selves. One of the integral components of this kind of communication, although it seems like it's focused elsewhere in time, it really gets to a sense of no time at all, a sense of no when. Getting rid of those boundaries once again, those kind of labels, that sense of where am I right now, losing that sense of timelessness, that sense of infinite and eternal connection that each of us intrinsically has with everything and everyone around us. And that's the true intrinsic value that you have as a person, that no one can ever take from you, that you're beautiful and perfect exactly as you are. And it's an awareness of just getting back into that sense of balance and harmony and ease, where there's no more resisting and pushing away from something that you feel opposed to, where there's no more worrying and concern about things that could go wrong, and no more regret and angst and stress over things that have happened, and the whole shoulda, coulda, woulda syndrome that so many people find themselves in. It's just being in this beautiful place where, without judgment, without any kind of sense of how things are supposed to be, or what we have to change, or what needs to be done, just there's a wonderful, magical kind of an openness there, which allows true knowledge, true wisdom, true communication to occur. And I find it a very powerful experience indeed. So I do recommend that if you are already meditating, or if you're already engaged in some kind of spiritual practice, make sure that you get lots of time to go to that place of stillness, so that you can gain the benefit of just getting to that relaxation, where you can let go without worrying, because you actually do change the world when you get into that relaxed state of mind. And a book that I review this month, which I love, is called Choosing Easy World. The author is Julia Rogers Hamrick, and the subtitle is A Guide to Opting Out of Struggle and Strife and Living in the Amazing Realm Where Everything is Easy. I love this book because it's exactly in alignment with what I'm talking about. And you can get into the spirit of the book, see if it's for you or not, just by repeating after me. I choose to live in easy world where everything is easy. And just thinking about that and saying it. You can say it lots of times if you want to. I choose to live in easy world where everything is easy. If you're resonating with that, then you can probably get a lot of value from the book itself, because what it does is it gets into that sense of remembering a time and a place when you could just relax and everything was all right. Not so much effort, straining, pushing, resisting, fighting, all of those labels and judgments, even judging ourselves, unfortunately. You can just let that all go. So that's a great way to get into the spirit of things there. Also, I'd like to tell you that if you go to my website and check out the September 2010 newsletter, all of the links to this book, the conference I just talked about, and a fabulous award-winning website, Future Me, where you can send a message to your future self and actually receive it in the future. All of those links are there. You can also see the PowerPoint slide presentation that I've got posted at the Seed Language of Spirit website, and the link is right there on my September 2010 RealityShifters.com newsletter page. So you can see the PowerPoint slides all about communicating with your past and future self, which delves a little bit into one of my favorite subjects, which has to do with bicausality and retrocausality, and what I believe to be at the core of most of the reality shifts that we see occurring around us, sort of a model for this universe, that it's a very holographic, bicausal, a kind of a multiverse that we have going on. So those ideas are presented along with some current cutting-edge research and some of my own personal experiences with reality shifts that seem to indicate what we would expect to see happening if we were getting communications from our future selves. And that's a fun concept to think about right now, is to send some love back to your past selves, all of those various paths that you could have gone, and just be at peace in that sense of oneness, that place of no-when, where everything is easy. And you can think about how good can it get. So until next time, I'm Cynthia Sue Larson with RealityShifters.com, and please feel free to send me emails if you've got stories about reality shifts or questions or would like to share. Thanks so much. Take care.